Charanam, Jayanandalala. Today's topic is um, Ganga Devi. I've never spoken about her before. Um, she's in everybody's home, right? We all talk about her. But how many of us know her origin, where she was, her whole history, where she began? Who was she? So many questions. Let's venture into all that and get our answers today. It's going to be a beautiful journey, just like the river Ganga. When we say Ganga, it is Ganga Mata, mother. So many people call her by so many names. Ganga Maiya, Ganga Mata, Ma Gange. Mostly it is mother in all languages. And why is she called the mother? Because she bears a lot. She has the power to bear. She comes even above all the mortal human mothers because she bears all the sins. She cleanses everyone, literally taking their sins on herself, taking their dirt on herself. She takes it. She doesn't complain. Everybody's so happy. Poi Gangala mungina porom. So no one feels guilty, right? Anga poi mungita porom. Let's go to Ganga and dip ourselves. Dip and do what? Wash off all our sins. That is what everybody say. Everyone will do sins and then they go and wash it in Ganga. Is it that easy? You do sin and then you go wash it off? No. You cannot go wash it off anywhere. Not even in Ganga. Ganga is all about cleansing the inside. Whatever is done is done. We have to bear the consequences. But what is inside? The emotions, the feelings, all that chaos, that gets clarity. That gets cleared. So when you wash and dip in Ganga, the Ganges, you feel refreshed. So the inner soul, the inner part of our body, the mortal beings, gets cleansed. The mind is refreshed. It's like going to the doctor and getting everything, everything healed. There's no doctor who can do that. But here Ganga can do that. Ganga Mata can do that. So I went to Kaveri this time, Um, similar. Kaveri is very similar to Goddess Ganga. She has also cured all that power through her penance. So we have seen that during our Srirangam session. If you want, you can go listen to it, where I have spoken about how Kaveri got that. She wanted to be like Ganga, how she attained it. She could not become like Ganga, but she's who she is. No one can become like anyone. And that again is repeatedly um, very clearly stated in our history, in our Puranas. If someone if someone wants to become like someone, they get destroyed. You can never become like somebody else. You can become your best. And for that, there are many, many examples. And even in this story, we'll come across many, many individuals, great men who were there to give us a lesson how to lead our lives. So whenever we see somebody we admire, we can keep them as our role model, but not to become like that person, but to take all the positives from that person and incorporate in our lives so that we can be a better person. Whoever we are, we should be proud of who we are. God has made us this way, but we have to polish ourselves and be the best. So we have to be very happy with who we are. I want to have eyes like her. I want to have clothes like her. I want to have that like her or that like him. Is not how it is. So that is what our history teaches. So Kaveri is Kaveri, Ganga is Ganga. So when I went and dipped myself in Kaveri, I I could just imagine how it would be dipping in Ganga. It gave me a trailer. I was so rejuvenated. It is an achievement. Going all the way to Tale Kaveri is an achievement. Could not have done it without Ambal's grace. So I was jumping like a kid. So here we go, back to Ganga. So she is the healer. Like I said, she can heal anything. A dip in her is like a protector, the healer. That is why she's the Mata, the mother, because she's always giving, right? The giver is the mother, is the giver. So she got that title of the mother because she gives. And she's the one who shelters so much life, so much life. She's like the lifeline. And she balances the ecosystem. She flows over 2,500 kilometers across the heart of our country, Bharat, Bharatadesha. The connection with her and mankind goes beyond even we could imagine. For yugams. So when did she first come down? It goes back to that. It's during Satya Yugam. Now Ganga is more than a river. She's more than a river. She's a divine being. She is the goddess. In our Hindu scriptures, she is the goddess. So when people go so yearning and full of, you know, desires to go and dip everything in Ganga, there's a reason. And everyone comes back very happy. So even though, they say Ganga is so dirty, so that, so this, you find everything in the river. But nobody has come back saying, I dipped in Ganga and I got this disease. No, because whoever has that mind, oh, Ganga is dirty, they don't go dip. But whoever has the mind that Ganga Devi is the goddess, I want to go and immerse in her. I want her I want to feel her in my body. I want her all over me. Goes in that positivity and get everything positive back. Correct? So those who have this skeptical mind don't go dip anyway. They lose out. That is why our mind is always there. The enemy, we say, right? It's preventing us from doing the right thing. Oh no, it's so dirty. Don't go dip. And then we listen to it. We fall for it. And we get deprived of the goodness. When is the next time? Only God knows. Opportunities should never be missed. So here. So she's the one who grants the moksha. So they also say dipping in Ganga gives the liberation. Moksham, right? That is also there. So she's, see how many attributes she has? So dipping in her is a big thing. Going there, okay, I'm going to go to Varanasi and dip. How many people say that? But how many people can do it? How many people get to do it? You meet so many people. How many people have actually visited and dipped in her? Not many. Even in India, they'll say, I want to go, I want to go. But the time has to come, the invitation has to come. You cannot go uninvited. All these things matter. So she's the one. Why is it so difficult to reach her? Because a dip in her gives us everything. Nothing material, but beyond that. So it's hard to find. It's hard to get. You have to pray. The Lord has to be pleased, and the invite will come. So we get cleansed inside out. Now, who is Ganga Devi? Ganga Devi is the daughter of the Himavat. Himavat is who? The king of mountains. He is the father of Uma Devi. Uma Devi is Parvati. So Ganga is Parvati's sister. Siblings. So that is her identity in our scriptures. So we got to know who she is. Now let's see how she came down to earth, which is very important because that is where everything starts, right? Where was she and why she came down to earth? Now, Ganga Devi initially was flowing in Swarga. She was not on earth. She was flowing only in the heavens. And she was only for the lords, the gods. Every devas were enjoying her presence. That being said, let's see how she came down to earth. Now, we all remember this Ikshvaku dynasty. That is the ancestors of Lord Rama. So we go all the way to Lord Rama's ancestors. Now, there's a descendant of great King Sagara. Is also from the Suryavamsh dynasty, it's the same dynasty as Lord Rama. This King Sagara, he was a very powerful king. He was very good with his prajas and very successful king, very powerful. And he ruled And he ruled so well. He was the ideal king. So when you are praised by many and given all the respects, and everybody is, advising you to perform the Ashwamedha Yagna. Now, Ashwamedha Yagna is performed by any king who wants to show his superiority, who wants to show his power, and who wants to claim that he's the emperor of the earth. So what they usually do is after the yagna, what they do is they usually take a horse, the most beautiful horse, in the kingdom, and decorate it with all the jewelry and all the riches and, all the silk cloth and all that. And he's decorated and he's made to wander in any direction he wants, the horse. Basically, to say that whoever dares to stop the horse is challenging the king. So if the horse wanders all over the earth and comes back to the kingdom, to the king is the emperor of the earth. Basically, usually nobody will challenge if Ashwamedha Yagna is done only when the king is very sure that he's very powerful and the horse is made to wander. Obviously, if the challenger comes, they will attack the horse and there'll be a war. This is the usual procedure. So the horse, it had come to a time when the Sagara, King Sagara, did the Ashwamedha Yagna and his horse was made to wander. Now, who is getting tensed when he saw this? Usually there is one person and only one person can get tensed during these kind of times, and that is Lord Indra. His thought is, if, for instance, King Sagara wins over all the lords, he's such a successful king and everybody loves him, everybody's praising him. In case he wins over the lords, then the lords can give my throne to him. He's always scared of losing his throne. So he knows the story, how this works. He knows. So what he does is he has to somehow get rid of the horse. Because the horse is the one that decides whether King Sagara will be Chakravarti or not. Chakravarti is emperor of the earth. So he knew that the horse is the only way out. So he goes and steals the horse. He kidnaps the horse with his powers. And so there are a lot of soldiers behind the horse. While the horse is wandering, there are a few soldiers behind the horse, always ready. In case the horse is attacked, they can defend and they can, that's the war happening. So nobody dares to touch the horse. So with his powers, Indra captures the horse, takes him away from there, very far away, and ties him behind the sage Kapila's ashram. Now, sage Kapila is very much deep in meditation. He has no clue what is happening around him. Of all the thing, poor thing, he has no clue what is happening, and there's a horse behind his ashram. And it's a very, very important horse. And then, of course, Lord Indra vanishes from there. His job is done. Now, say the King Sagara sends all his sons. Apparently, he has 60,000 sons. That's like almost a whole kingdom, right? 60,000 sons go in every direction to find this horse. They couldn't find it so easily. It took them a while, a long time. And then they somehow came to Sage Kapila's ashram, and they saw the horse tied behind his ashram. And obviously, the minute they saw the horse, they knew, they put it together that the sage is the culprit. Now, the sage is in deep meditation, has no idea what is going on. So the sons come there and confront him. Not understanding that he is in deep meditation, they start screaming and shouting, anybody home kind of thing. So the sage opens his eyes. Now, when in deep meditation, the eyes are very powerful. Eyes are very, very powerful. So when he opens his eyes, all the 60,000 suns are burnt to ashes. So that's it for 60,000. See how easily 60,000 suns are gone in 1 second. Now, obviously, the grandson of King Sagara runs to the ashram of Sage Kapila, knowing this, and he pleads and he asks him for forgiveness and tells him to bring them back to life. He says, no, they are not coming back. In fact, I curse all of them, he says. Sage Kapila says, I'm cursed all of them that they will be in this form. That is, they have no liberation. They're going to be wandering as spirits. So they have no liberation. And they will be like this. And that is my curse, he says. Anshuman pleads and falls at his feet and he says, I will do whatever you say, Rishi. I don't want them to go through this. Please help them. So the Rishi says, okay, there is only one way. It is not easy. Only Ganga Devi can liberate them. But she is flowing in the Swargam only. So, not sure how you will bring her here. So that is where the thing stops. Anshuman obviously does a severe penance to Lord Brahma, who appears, and he tells him that, yes, Ganga Devi is in Swargalokam, but to bring her here, you have to do another penance for her. So he grows very old by then, and he's not able to do another penance. So that's gone that way. Now, next, the person is Dilip, his son. He also comes and he also pleads. He also does a penance to Lord Brahma. Same thing, happens. And they couldn't achieve it because achieving that is not easy. You need more focus and more determination. And that is the only thing should be in your mind. That is the only focus. King has so many other things, right? It's not just this. There is a praja, there's a kingdom, there's so many other things to take care. So they couldn't do it. Then comes Bhagiratha, Dilip's son, Bhagiratha. Because every time they are not able to sleep in peace because of these, spirits who are yearning, crying. They can hear their cries. So after all, the ancestors, right? The ancestors have not got liberation. Why are we doing the last rites with so much of focus and bhakti? Because we want our ancestors being liberated, going into the next journey. The soul needs to go into the next journey and it keeps going. But here they are stuck. They're not going anywhere. So they can hear their cries. So they are not in peace. So Bhagirath could hear their cries too. And he wanted to understand who this is, who's crying. That's when his father told him this is what the story is. We couldn't do it. Bhagirath takes it upon himself and says, this is my life goal. This is my ultimate goal. I will get all of them liberated. And he does a severe penance again to Lord Brahma. And Brahma is very pleased with him. He comes and he says, you will have to ask Goddess Ganga. There is a way of going, You may think already they know that you have to do penance to Ganga. Why did he do penance to Brahma? There is a sequence of, if you want to get something done, you have to go to the highest power first. In case he did penance only to Ganga, she would have come and said, Lord Brahma has to give me permission. Right? So always the sequence has to be respected. That is why Bhagirath had to do the penance again to Brahma, seek his permission, and Brahma says, yes, she will come, but you have to ask. So then he did the penance to Ganga without any break, continuous penance for many, many, many thousands and thousands of years. You can imagine, without any break, he's been doing penance. Now Brahma, the Ganga was pleased. She shows up and she says, Raja, what can I do for you? And Bhagiratha requests her. And she says, I will be very happy to liberate all your ancestors, but I have a concern, she says. When I drop down from Swargalokam to on earth, I could destroy earth. Because my force I cannot control. So I could literally break the earth and go into Padala Lokam directly, she said. The only person who can bear that force is Lord Shiva. So you will have to request him. If he's ready, then I'm ready, she says. So this is the most beautiful part of the story, right? So he says, okay, and he does a penance to Lord Shiva. Now, do you see the tiring path that he took up? It's not an easy task. Penance after penance after penance. It's like a never-ending thing. Anybody would be like, you know. Now, where will I get Lord Shiva on the thing? Lord Shiva is hard to reach. But no, he sat there and he did penance to Lord Shiva. Again, took many, 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 many years without getting fed up. With so much of focus and determination, he did that. And Lord Shiva was very impressed. It's not very difficult to impress Lord Shiva. It's very easy. So he shows up. He says, Bhagiratha, tell me, what can I do for you? And he tells him the whole story. And he says, okay, let her flow and I will make sure that everything goes fine, he says, and gives him the word that he will do what he has to do. And then the day comes when Ganga is ready, Lord Shiva is ready, and just like we are so anxious to hear the next section, all the devas are ready. All the Devargals are there, assembled to see how Ganga is going to flow down from Swargalokam and how Lord Shiva is going to bear that force, making sure that she doesn't destroy the earth. Everybody's anxiously waiting. They're all like, it's like a movie. We're all there to see Talaiva Madri, this is their Talaiva, their superstar. First day, first show. Everybody's there assembled. I can only imagine. So, yes, the time has come. Bhagirath is standing there like a small seed in front of this enormous figures that are in front of him. Lord Shiva, so huge like a mountain. And Ganga Devi coming from Swargalokam. Everybody's ready. And there's a big roar like a bigger than a thunderstorm. And this beautiful Ganga emerges out with so much force. Bhagiratha gets scared. He trembles. But Mahadev, our Lord Shiva, smiling, captures all that. Her power, the whole water is captured in his mated locks. Beautifully accumulates there. And while she's coming down, somehow unknowingly she gets this ego and proud that, oh, I'm so powerful. So Lord Shiva captures her and keeps her there. All of her in his hair. That's the beauty of his power. That's when she realizes, okay, I'm nothing. But she couldn't move. It was like someone has caught her like that. There's no power. She felt powerless. All the power when she dropped down was gone. And then Bhagiratha was like, that's it. Everything went into his hair and it's there. It's not coming down. So he's like, Bhagwani, please release Ganga. And he smiles and he just pulls one strand out beautifully. And she flows so gracefully down. How beautiful. Just picturize that. The force with which she came down from Swargalokam, that force was not there anymore. The beautiful strand that he pulled out, and that stream came down so gracefully. All the gods were awed by that. They showered flowers and praises at Lord Shiva and Gangadevi. It was a beautiful sight. And King Bhagirath was so happy that at last Ganga Devi touched the earth. And Lord Shiva told him, now lead her on to your ancestors. And with his chariot, he went forward and Ganga Devi beautifully flowed behind him. So he took her to that spot near Kapila's ashram, and she flowed through that and liberated all the souls, the 60,000 sons of King Sagara. She liberated everyone by the touch of her. This is one reason why she is called Bhagirathi. And because Ganga came through Lord Shiva's locks, he is called Gangadhara. That is another name for Lord Shiva, Gangadhara. So she separated into many tributaries, and the 7 streams of Ganga Devi are Bhagirathi, Janvi, Mandakini, Rishi Ganga, Saraswati, Alaknanda, and Bilangana. Now there's a story of Goddess Ganga. When she comes down to earth and she knows she's liberating all these souls, and then we spoke about how she is the main reason why people go and dip themselves to release their sins. So imagine so many thousands and millions of people go and dip themselves. What will happen to her? So she got this concern and she posted. She, went to Lord Shiva and she stated her concerns. She said, this is my concern. The whole of mankind comes and purifies themselves in me to wash their sins and impurities. What will happen to me, my Lord? She asks. How will I retain the purity? So Lord Shiva says, don't worry about that. This is why there are a lot of rishis and munis walking the earth. They will also come and dip themselves in you. There'll be avatarams. They will also come and dip themselves in you. And that is how you retain your purity. See how beautiful that is. For everything, there is a reason. And that is why we see a lot of sadhus in that area. So, lots. Siddhas and sadhus, lots of them. Now, Ganga is not just for Hindus. When the Mughals were there, they also had this attachment towards Ganga. The Mughal sultans kept Ganga water in a reserve and consumed it every day. They knew its importance and they did that. Akbar, for that matter, he called it the water of immortality and drank it every day. So obviously it didn't work, but he did. And the Britishers, coming to our recent times, the Britishers, they carried the Ganga water in their ships back to London when they went in their ships. It is a long journey, right? Because the water remained fresh and sweet throughout their journey. But when they came back from London and they have the London water, started stinking by the time they come to India. So that is what they realized the Ganga water was so pure. It retained that sweetness. Now Ganga, when Lord Shiva released her, she dropped first in Gaumukh. That is the place that the origin of Ganga starts at Gaumukh. And Gangotri is 19 kilometers from Gomukh. Now this is in Uttarakhand, Uttarakashi, they say. It's 3,200 meters above sea level. A lot of people trek and go and see this place. It's worth going. It's, after all, where she lands first. And it's incredible. Now, Ganga as such has scientific importance too. Scientifically, there are many points. Ganga has been proven not only as the purest, but very rich in minerals and very good bacteria. Now, they always say we need good bacteria, even in our body, right? So when Ganga has a lot of good bacteria, where she has the capabilities of purifying herself. Lord Shiva said something else, but she had her own. Scientifically, everybody needs scientific proof, right? Who listens to Lord Shiva? Everybody will bring science, proof. So here is the proof. So they saw that she has the capabilities of purifying herself. And also has the capability to absorb oxygen from the atmosphere. So she apparently has 25% more oxygen in her than any other rivers. This is also according to science. Now she has the ability, Ganga water has the ability, capabilities of killing the E. coli bacteria. Not only that, even to get rid of cholera, malaria, and other diseases. That I think we mentioned at the beginning, right? A dip in her is healing. Now, this is science talking, not religion, not anything else, not blind beliefs. This is science. Now, the water of Ganga has calcium, magnesium, and selenium. All this is beneficial for the human body. Again, science has proved that. Now, research has also proved that any mental disabilities, anything, also gets cured. Dip in Ganga cures all that too. Wow. So we all need proof also, right? So here you go, we have proof. So Ganga is mentioned in our scriptures in many times she has come and gone, right? In Ramayana, we see her. Rama goes through the Ganges water, right? And we have seen her presence in Mahabharata, in the Dwapara Yugam. She plays a very big role there. And as the queen, as the wife of King Shantanu, correct? Bhishma's mother. So there she also plays a very big role, and she gets this name of a heartless woman over there because she kills seven babies, right? Heartlessly. She goes and throws them in the river. Now there is a reason why she does that. There is a story. There were 8 Vasus. 8 Vasus are the Devatas. They are called the elements, 8 elements of the earth, Ashtavasus, to name them: Anala, fire, Agni. Anila is air, Vayu. Soma is moon. Ahas is water, Jala. Dhara is Prithvi. Dhruva is a pole of all nakshatras. Pratyusha is Surya. Prabhasa is Akasha, Aditya. Now, together they represent the elements of nature. All of them were wandering. All of them were Jalia wandering around. When they came to this Vasishta, sage Vasishta's ashram, and they saw this beautiful cow. One of them, Prabhasa, his wife was very, attracted to this cow. And she wanted the cow immediately. So Prabhasa loves his wife a lot, and he will do anything for her. So she kept insisting, please steal the cow for me. Please steal the cow for me. And then Prabhasa had to oblige, and he said, okay. And he pulled all the other Vasus also in it. So all the other 7, he said, please help me steal the cow. So they all did it, and they stole the cow, and they went from there. Of course, this is sage Vasishta of all the people. Through his divine powers, he realized who stole the cow. And he cursed all of them. He cursed all of them to be born as humans. My God, is the worst curse ever. We being humans, we are so happy here, right? As the Devas. They were so unhappy that they had to go down to earth and be humans. It was like a devastation, horrifying. So they ran to Vasishta's ashram, fell at his feet, and cried and cried and cried and said, please don't do this to us, because they have no idea how we mortals are. They're immortal. They're in a different world. They already have the bliss and everything. But who is spared? Nobody is spared. If you do wrong, nobody is spared. Even the devas are not spared. So this is the worst punishment, though, to come down on earth and be born. So they begged. So Vasishta was very clear. He said, okay, I understand. You 7 have not been directly involved in this. You're not directly involved in this. Only Prabhasa is involved directly because he was listening to his wife. So you 7 will be born, because I cannot take back my curse. Curse is curse. Done. You will be born. But you can ask Ganga Devi for help. She will bear you as her child, and she will liberate you, he says. So that is why she was she did what she did. And the story is such that when she went to immerse the child, let's say the firstborn, when she had her first child with King Shantanu, she just took the child like he's going on a stroll, and then she just dumped him in the river. Because she exactly knew what she was doing. Because these 8 Vasus came and pleaded with her, saying, please bear us as your children and liberate us as soon as we're born. And she said, okay, tadastu. And she was just keeping her word. But it seemed so heartless for a person watching that scene, right? Because once they were put or dumped in that river, they immediately got liberated. They were like Jalia. They were so happy. But no one saw that. They only saw poor King Shantanu crying and weeping. Oh, my child, my hair of the throne is gone. Right? See, the human mind only gives us one side of the coin. The other side is nobody wants to know. So there she liberated all the 7 Vasus just like Vasishta had told them. But the 8th one, that is when Shantanu comes and tells us, stop it. Enough is enough. I cannot take this anymore. You have killed all the 7 babies. Now leave the 8th one. He pleads and he breaks his promise. Going back to when they met, you know, the love story of Shantanu and goddess Ganga, such that it came under this condition that she laid on him, that he cannot question her. So that was the condition she got married to Shantanu. That is why he kept quiet when he saw her going and dumping these babies in the river. He couldn't ask her any question because the condition was he shouldn't ask her any questions. So he was bound by that, so he kept quiet. But the 8th one, he couldn't. He couldn't bear. He was like, okay, I don't mind breaking my promise and condition. And he broke it. He asked her, why are you doing this, heartless woman? Are you a mother? Well, she proved herself more than a mother, right? But he was very angry. He said, are you a mother? Which mother does this? Leave the 8th one. The 8th one was supposed to be left. That is why this was all a plan. Him breaking that condition was a plan. Because the 8th one was the culprit. He was supposed to live on earth. So he was saved. So we all know who the 8th one is, right? The 8th one, who came to be known as Bhishma, Pitamaha. Very, very, very significant figure in the history of mankind. Great warrior in Mahabharata. Ganga Putra Bhishma. Sounds so beautiful. And his life was such that as the curse, he cannot be married. He cannot get the love of a woman. He cannot be king. In spite of all that, he stood out. Better than any one of them. He proved you don't need all this. And you can still be great. He's sacrificed. He's known for his sacrifices. He's known for his determination. And he's known for his high principles. He was Lord Krishna's favorite. He was one of those who recognized the divinity in Lord Krishna the minute he saw him. That is the greatness of Bhishma. And that is the Ganga Devi's putra, son. And him becoming so great in history. Even today we talk about him. And that is the greatness of Bhishma, her son. So that leaves us to the end of the story of River Ganga. I hope you enjoyed it. Jai Nandalala Madhyali Charan.